Welcome to another edition of the MMA-analysis podcast. I'm your host this week, Brad Taschuk. Pleased to be here. We're excited. We got a special guest. We'll get to him in a second. First, Sean, how we doing?
Better today. It's been ugly on the Oilers front. They shit canned the head coach. It can only go up from here. We might we might still have a chance at some of our
does
our
hashtag
bets.
McDavid Hart have a little life now?
It's on life support, but we never know. It
There's
could
a heart
get going again.
I didn't dress my little dude in some Canadian fucking hockey gear for
some socialist hockey propaganda.
Yeah. Especially around these parts. Like he's lucky he wasn't, but come on, man. So they fired the coach now is what happened?
Yeah,
okay.
the coach.
Good.
They fired the coach, assistant coach that runs the defense, and they brought up
the
guys from
Marcus Camby.
Out. Get them out. Yeah. So then they brought up the guys from like the lower league that runs all their like prospects and stuff like that. So it's a good change, that's for sure.
Wesley, we know Sean's in a good mood. How are you doing? How are the plants doing down there?
I don't know what it is, man. Like the camera's working good, but I like bring it down here and it's just like, man, things are looking good, man. Things are looking good.
BBN crushing it.
Yep.
We look good, man. Hey, I'm one. Ask our boy Maddie on Twitter. I am as pessimistic a fucking basketball fan as you can imagine. I think we absolutely suck when we're usually decent. I like this team, man. This team's it's pretty good. I think it's the year, man. Like the last title we won was the last year I got to watch a season with my mom. This year, year's the first season with my boy. I think
meant to
like
be.
All that shit's aligning, man.
Shit's aligning.
I mean, that is full on Narrative Nation, which all credit to me. Great segue to our guest host this week. This man has so many talents. One of them you just saw, chugging seltzers.
Probably number one. Gotta be.
Yeah. He's got the chirp services. He's the future ex-husband of Brittany Palmer. This man does so many
lights
things.
A lot of candles. Lights a lot of candles.
Manifests so many things. He is like the Johnny Cochran for short people. This man goes all out for the short kings. It is Aaron Watershow. Aaron, how you doing?
Wow, dude, that was a huge announcement. I might have to get a recording of that and chop that up later. But I'm doing good.
We don't care about each other. We do things big here for the listeners.
I feel good. I know. I was telling you earlier. I feel like a mom who submits an application to go on Oprah, and she's like waiting for that call up. And I finally got it. This is what I feel like right now. So I'm pumped. Just pumped to be in the presence of this greatness and ready to talk some fights.
Well, we're much happier to have you here than Lance. So welcome.
Yeah, what a bummer. Right? No Lance.
His family's got some kind of thing to where they catch the most craziest fucking diseases.
They got the bad juju.
Yeah.
We got to get some scientists in that lab.
It's like it must be a humidity thing. It's probably like real humid in Nashville.
Classic Tennessee, dude.
And we're used to that dry heat. So they get all these respiratory things going on, right?
Yeah, a lot of smoke rolling off around town from the bonfires and the
right. Yeah, that's probably it. That's probably it.
They're burning a lot of paper down there in Tennessee nowadays.
Oh fuck.
Oh shit. We've got a bunch to talk about today, so we're not gonna bore you too much. We'll traverse off the trail a little bit here and there, but we've got a shitty card from last week to recap, which the other three gentlemen will do a great job of that. I still haven't seen any of it. and then we're going to preview UFC 271. So without further ado, so guys, as I said, didn't watch the fight, but you guys really all thought that this Sean Strickland as a minus 200 favorite fight was going to end inside the distance, huh?
Yeah, that was a tough go. He tricked me. He hoodwinked me, talking all this weird, fucking psychosexual shit, and dude just cannot perform. It's not a good look. Like, obviously, he did beat Hermansson absolutely easily, but if you want to actually be good and people to actually be fans of you, you gotta actually throw your hands and knock some people out, or at least try. Don't just coast on a jab.
Aaron, you got the mic ready. It feels like you got something to say here.
Yeah, no, I mean, he summed it up pretty well. Just boring fight. A lot of pitter patter, a lot of this and that, but nothing very exciting. Once Hermansson couldn't get him down, it was just like, all right, let's get this over with. And they were just kind of sparring the whole time. So it was boring. I mean, when you talk that much shit, you got to come out hard. You got to do some dope shit, and he did no dope shit throughout the match. So it's kind of like,
you'll see a better fight at a San Diego Seals game.
Oh my god! Steve's coming in with bang.
Steve hasn't been in the chat for a while. We love Steve. Wes, anything to add on this main event?
Yeah, man. Like, Strickland is, I think he's really fucking good. It's just sad that this dude, like I said, you don't want me saying you can't finish a 6-inch sub, because it's just not good, bro. Like, I don't even think he's gonna sniff a title shot if he.
I mean, he's one fight away. Middleweight is pretty bad, man.
That's his only like.
That's the saving grace.
Yeah.
He's my pick for a champ at the end of the year, so let's make it happen.
Yeah, but you can't, like, I agree, you can't go on these fucking crazy tangents, dude, at these press conferences and shit, and then show up and be like, and I don't know, I don't necessarily made excuses after the fight. Pretty much said, like, I froze up. I was terrible.
Yeah,
like,
he shit on himself.
Yeah, he absolutely
at least
shit on himself.
At least he did that. He wasn't trying to act like, oh, well, that was the plan or anything like that. He admitted to.
Like, he's never going to have any, like, one-punch knockout power, but his striking is, like, good enough that he can, almost like Max Holloway. I'm not saying he's that kind of striker, but he can volume his way to finishes. He can get guys
He
down.
can take risks, too. Like, he's got a decent chin. Like, with his hands that are good, he could take some risks in the pocket, and he might actually get some knockdowns. Did
you see at the end, too, when he was like, all right, let's throw down?
Yeah.
And then he, like, backed up. I was like, dude, you can't do this.
There was a couple on this card where one dude at the end was like, let's go, and then shoots a takedown. And then
honestly,
I love that. That's a great
head fake.
If I were in a fight, I would do that, though.
I hear you. Oh, I'd almost, like, I wouldn't, like, shake hands, because I might be the dude that's like, hey, touch gloves and just swing.
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm cheating.
Strickland's good. He's always got, like, his balance. He does those little short steps, and it makes his boxing work, but no power, no urgency. I mean, Wes said the dude can't even finish a 6-inch sub. He can't even finish talking to start eat this 6-inch sub. Like, it's bad. But he's good, and middleweight's not a great division, so I think his next fight is going to be a real test, because it's not going to be a guy that he can just easily control like Strickland again.
That was a good win, though.
Yeah,
that was a good win, man.
Give him Costa.
Yeah,
if Costa actually goes to 85, give him to Costa.
That'd be dope.
Let's do that.
That's not a bad fight.
I hope Costa can make 85 without dying, because he's a freak at 85, man. He's like YOLO as far as physique and shit goes.
As long as he pulls the trigger.
We get YOLO Melvin Manhoot, dude. Like, you talking about two old guys throwing bungalows. That shit's gonna be fun. Like, everybody was shitting on. I'm like, that's gonna be fun as hell. Melvin's gonna come. He's gonna come throwing. Like he's gonna make.
Is that a combined 92 years old right there? Is that what that is?
I think it's the oldest ever.
Close.
The average age of the main and the co-main of that, I believe I saw was like 44 and a half or 45 years old, something like that.
Love that. Ryan Bader's the young man of the group.
Yeah, that's a bad sign.
A vibrant bunch they got over there in Bellator right now. But yeah, it's kind of like when they made Shogun and Lil Nog for the third time. I was like, sure, they can fight each other. I don't want to see them fight anybody else and get killed, so let's do that. Anyways, going to go through the rest of this card real quick. Flyweight division, Canada, Malcolm Gordon's like pound for pound number 7 at this point.
You broke the man's arm.
Arm injury.
That was dope, dude.
He fucked him up before he got him to injure himself.
Canada was like going on a little run there. I was like, all right.
I know. Canada went 3-1. You know what we're due for now?
Freedom.
For 12.
Freedom. That's what it is. We got this little taste of freedom, and we started winning.
They knew they had something to fight for now, right?
No,
yeah. Welterweight division, Phil Rowe defeats Jason Witt. I think this is all kind of how we thought it would go. Eventually, he would get Witt's chin, and that would be all she wrote.
Exactly. Yeah. Witt got the takedown, and then when he didn't, then that chin showed up.
Didn't like everybody like say this fight was going to play out exactly this way, and everybody bet Phil Rowe. Like,
no,
that was easy. That was like easy cap.
205. We got the jailbird. This man is yoked, and I don't think people quite expected this to go this quickly because Marquez is a good grappler when he's fresh and big strong guy.
Dude, that dude is. There's a lot of yoked dudes coming through the UFC right now. I don't know if
that guy's bricked out,
getting like less stringent, but. There's a lot of dudes.
I hope they are. I hope they are.
Yeah, they're
like fucking out. They're handing out like jackets and shit to dudes and like past that. Like fuck it, let's give everybody a jacket and yoke up. Like this dude looks good though, man. He looks yoked and like skilled.
Yes.
Like there's a couple big Brazilians in the UFC now out of nowhere that are like looking good on the mat, like some prime Jacare type shit. One of them broke Jacare's arm, but. There's some legit dudes, man.
I think Steve said it, but Muniz would fuck Izzy up. He would snap that man in two.
I don't know about that, but there's some interesting dudes, man, around now.
Yeah, he's 30, which isn't terrible at 205 because we know what 205 is like. So I don't know, maybe he is something.
Yeah, this guy's good.
We'll see. I'll keep watching. That's for sure.
Yep.
What I won't keep watching is Alexis Davis getting a unanimous decision over whatever a Julija is. And we're just going to move on. Chitty, bang, bang. Ooh, that was a solid Munich. Back on track with the Munich. And not really much to say about that fight other than Chitty.
Yeah, I mean, he also looks like he's on steroids, dude. All these dudes.
I hope so.
I'm serious.
He looks jacked too,
like a little winter break or something. So
you know what it is? It's a long play to get Brock back in the UFC. So they're gonna stop testing for steroids. They're gonna keep bringing in all these monster dudes like Vince McMahon in the '80s, and then Brock's gonna be like, "That's the place to be," because all the dudes in WWF are all skinny little bitches. So,
yeah, no one's complaining either. So let it happen.
Right. Hakeem Dawado continues. Well, Barrio stopped the run for Canada, but Dawado rebounded nicely, and I was wrong on this one. I thought Trezano was going to have a little bit more of a chance with his volume, but Dawado was just so much better.
Yeah, yep. Trezano shaved his mullet too, which is a huge miss.
Red flag. Red flag.
So bad decision before the fight, and also like just bad decisions throughout the fight. So Yeah.
Duadu's good. If he doesn't get taken down, he's good. Obviously, he's another guy you wish had more power because then he'd be a scary, scary dude. But against guys that are not that great or not great on the feet, he'll light them up.
Where does he rank in the Canada top? Is he like a top 5?
He's number one.
Number one?
I think
it's sad as it is. He's number one.
Like posted somewhere.
He'd be.
It's an ugly list, man. We try not to
legit,
make
like,
that visible.
Alexis Davis.
The thing we learned on this podcast a long time ago is you don't want to put anything in writing because then people have something to hold you to.
Yeah, there you go. Make it a Snapchat, dude. Then it'll delete eventually. So.
Disappear.
Out there,
I'm too old for that shit. Bantamweight division, we've got John Castaneda getting the third round arm triangle over Miles Johns. I was wrong here, but didn't see it. Don't know how it played out. Wes, what happened?
I mean, Miles Johns just kind of looked like shit. He backed up the whole fight. Castaneda just landed good stuff on him, dude. I don't know if he thought he was just going to counter and get something off on him, but it never came, and he got walked down, and I was completely wrong too, man. Is Castaneda good? I don't know, man. It just crazy dumb performance by Johns in that fight.
Anything to add?
Castaneda looks all right. I think he looks pretty good. He's got good hands. So
he showed a little power in that fight too, man. Like
John just looked like he looked kind of. I don't know if he was scared but he couldn't really figure out Castaneda, so. Castaneda just kind of took him over.
Yeah, it seems like you really have to look past Castaneda's record coming into the UFC because he lost like 3 of 4 or whatever when he came into the UFC, but definitely seems like he's a little bit better than that now that he's here. Main cards, featherweight division. This fight, I've been told I have to watch. I will watch it. Julian Erosa, Juicy J with another banger. The cross genre or the cross industry superstar, MMA and rap and pop or whatever Juicy J does. Over Steven Peterson, who is somehow now too fat to make featherweight, but still gets punched in the face a lot.
That was a tight one. I'm always down to fade Erosa, and this time I just couldn't do it. I decided to go fight doesn't go because I figured if Peterson wins, he probably gets him out of there, and there was a chance that Erosa could get him out of there. Man, it was getting close there, and I was kicking myself that I didn't take Peterson, and then he loses just an absolute tight decision as like a huge dog.
I had
Wes,
some,
I think you had some on that.
Yeah, I had some Erosa. Man, I thought he had him a couple times, dude. Like
he did.
Erosa is not good, bro. But I tell you what, you never get rid of that dude because he is a great fight every time out. And props to Peterson, man, because I think Lance. I got to listen to some of the show last week, and y'all were talking about Peterson's like hasn't been like finished in so many years or something like.
Yeah.
That dude is ridiculous, man. Like he took some bombs in that fight. He was mangled up. Great, absolute great fight though. One you definitely need to go watch, dude.
Yeah, you got to watch it. It was definitely, in my opinion, fight of the year so far. Probably, I mean, it's going to be hard to beat that in terms of fight of the year. Usually they'll like pick some people that more people recognize for fight of the year, but that shit was fire. It was like watching Dragon Ball Z in real life.
just labored spinning shit. It was so good.
Rosa looked like he was going to faint and kept going somehow.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I watched about a round and a half of this next fight because I was.
You picked the wrong fight to watch.
I was dropping something off at my dad's house, and it was Brian Battle holding Trayshawn Gore up against the cage and nothing happening, and it seems like he won a decision by doing that.
Gore anytime he threw would literally like half obliterate this guy, which I thought he was gonna do, and then in the third he literally does nothing. He doesn't care anymore. I'm like, I was completely right. Like,
just would not pull the trigger.
he should have killed that guy. Like, really.
Yep.
And he hit him.
Battle
like,
is not good.
No, he's fucking horrible, dude. And Gore like threw 3 good punches and dropped him twice. Like,
And
threw 3
Battle
good
couldn't see out of one eye.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
completely shut.
Well, that's what I said when I saw the decision. I was like, but that guy can't see. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, it looked like he was gonna take over going in the 3rd round because Battle can't fucking see, and somehow he just got hugged out. A lot of hugging going on in the main card, which was a little disappointing.
Hug life.
Hug life.
Was there hugging in the consensus bet cashing again? Although I don't think you were able to track this one, right, Sean? But
I didn't track it at BetStamp because they didn't have odds because, of course, this was kind of a late notice fight.
Yeah.
But, man, it got a little scary. Allen still loves to get hit. When you're getting hit with 2022 by Sam Alvey clean, like multiple times.
Sam Alvey's the GOAT, all right? Nobody has been as bad at their job for as long as Sam Alvey, and he's still here.
Still not done. He said, I ain't done.
He's not done. He wants another one. He's going to take a break, but he's coming back. He's ready to go.
I wonder what that entails for him, regrouping. Maybe go to the woods or something.
Have another kid.
Maybe that's probably what it is.
Maybe he should stop smiling, dude. Turn heel a little bit.
Get a little aggravated. Yeah,
he's got to do something different, dude, because it's not working.
It'll be like that.
It hasn't been working.
It'll be the one fight where Diego was the dream instead of the nightmare.
Oh, that was bad.
So not that. No, we don't want to do that. But either way, I don't care. I didn't see it. So for me, never in doubt. Easy money.
Easy money.
It was easy money, though. Yeah.
It ended up being
easy money. Man, the Shave Cat he's real good. I only saw the highlight of the finish. I didn't see the whole fight, but dude's good.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight that dude. He's fucking scary. He looks like a villain in a Taken movie. And in that movie, they fucking actually kill Liam Neeson instead of Liam Neeson killing them because he's fucking scary.
So that's a good analogy because, I mean, all of the bad guys in any sort of action movie like that over the past 5 years, they switched them all from Russian to like Chinese or some sort of Asian. So, he fits. He's going to be the next Mike Pyle, the big acting star out of MMA.
Oh, God.
Oh, he could be 100%. Maybe he can make a cameo in a Borat. He's at Kazakhstan, right? He can make.
Yeah, I think so. Next Borat.
Borat in the head or something.
There we go. He's fucking good though. Like I know.
Around just beating dudes up.
That'd be amazing.
I know Harris is not great, but man, the way that's what he should do against guys. That's how good he is. So. Yeah, I think he'll hopefully get a pretty big step up after this, and he can still he might be finishing some dudes in the top 15.
Hey, I thought Harris was good enough that he'd go over 1.5 here, and I was wrong. So I mean I thought Harris was pretty decent coming into this fight, so that says a lot about the old Shave Cat. And then nobody wants to talk about the co-main event. Actually. We've got our representative from the independent state of Hawaii with us right now. Please talk about the injustice done to your people here.
Dude, left and right, dude. They come, they take our island, make it a part of America. They're just robbing us left and right. It sucks because I bet on every Hawaiian fighter. Doesn't matter how big of a dog or anything like that. And I'm starting to go fucking broke. So I'm going to need some Hawaiians to start racking up some dubs, or we're going to be starting to look like Canada soon.
That's you're getting there.
I need to regroup some money somehow.
You got Max, so you'll never be Canada.
That's all I got.
So,
but unfortunately, I don't think this weekend's gonna go too well for you. But we'll see. We'll get there.
We'll see.
Other than that, cut this Nick and Nate Diaz fool. He's terrible.
Yeah.
The truth is he should be smashing dudes on the regional scene, but because he knows the Diaz, he got a shot and now he's stuck in the UFC, and he does have some good skills, but he should be rounding out his game on the regional scene, not in the UFC where he has to just hold on to people to win.
Yeah, I was hoping some like rogue judges were just like, fuck this. Sometimes you'll get a judge who's like, I don't give a fuck about like hugging and those like body shots that Puna was throwing at the end of the round. Maybe could have won him something, but he won one card, so
yeah, it was a split. So
yeah,
I mean, so did Jack Hermansson. So
okay, well, Sal fell asleep after the second round. So I mean, how the fuck is he supposed to know who is winning the rounds?
Yeah, you can't blame that.
That was bad.
Speaking of bad judging, that was UFC Vegas, where they can control the judges. This weekend is UFC 271 in Texas, where any fucking thing goes on the judges' scorecards. So keep that in mind when we're breaking these fights down. Anything you guys wanted to add on that card before we wrap it up and move on to the preview here?
Nope, thought it was dope or dope-ish. So
there we go. Kicking it off this week. First of all, this is like it's a good main event. It's a co-main event that is not necessarily good, but it fits for where the fight is happening. And honestly, the rest of the main card, I don't hate. I kind of dig the pay-per-view card, but you can tell that Izzy's new contract that's going to trickle down to the rest of the UFC doesn't have a pay-per-view bonus on it because they've got Andre Arlovski as the featured prelim here, and he's going to win a decision over the Vanderaa bred, and everyone's going to hate it, and it's not going to get any pay-per-views. But, as Hyper Blue points out, WMMA free main card. So that's tremendous work right there.
We don't get that very often, so that is a plus on this one. So
on Khabib's card, you get no chicks, so that's pretty cool.
Never. Are they even allowed in the building?
No.
You gotta wear something.
All right, we are going to kick this one off in the welterweight division. We got Jeremiah Bullfrog Wells taking on, I'm not going to call this dude what he's going around calling himself. That's ridiculous. His name is Mike Mathetha, and let's see how he does, because the first time one of Robert Whittaker's friends came into the UFC, got smoked. So I know Izzy's had some other friends in the UFC, but this dude looks like he is ripe to get smoked by the Bullfrog. Sean?
Yeah, like I was impressed by Wells last time out. What he did to Worley, especially after that like high-paced first round, I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna gas. Worley's gonna take over, which is not really what Worley usually does. But man, he came out of that second round and just put Worley out. I really don't know much about the meth head. Wells could probably grapple this guy, and he I think he'll have success if he does that. If it's on the feet, then it could be a bit of a closer match. I'm trying to stay away from betting too many fights. I have way too many bets already, so I won't bet Wells, but I think he wins. He probably gets a finish, but no bet as of right now.
I'm glad that you added the as of right now, because you know you're going to end up having to bet on this one. Wes, what do we got?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I like Wells quite a bit in this fight. I probably shouldn't, but man, this guy he's fighting, dude, is there on just camp knowing somebody. I mean, he's that. I'm looking. I know Wells should probably take this down and stuff, but man, he's got a little power, dude. The KO prop is like plus 220, plus 200, something around there. Feel like that's something I gotta sprinkle on here, just with the power that Wells has shown. And inside the distance is a little juice, man, but I'll probably take a little bit more of that as well, just to be safe in case he does take him down and gets a sub. But Man, I can see some ground and pound in this fight. I like Wells in this spot, man. I'd rather try to get a prop though than laying some juice on him. So I'm going to take a little bit of that KO and Wells inside the distance.
Aaron, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, similar sentiments. I think Mathetha, I think is his name. He's a kickboxer, so he's coming in and he's just boys without Adesanya, so he's coming in and just trying to. I guess he just came along for the ride. I'm not sure why he's getting a shot here, other than being boys without Adesanya. I'm sure that's part of his compensation that he's been bragging about. So, but yeah, Wells is a savage. Worley Alves on your first fight is no joke.
It's nuts.
That's not a contender series fight. That's like a really good fighter, and he like beat the shit out of him. So, and he's well rounded. He's from that Henzo gym, and those guys can all bang. So, I think Wells in ITD is probably going to happen. But the price is what is Wells ITD? It's minus money. So yeah, you probably got to pick if you want to back it. But I took the under. It was 150. It's going up, so I don't like it too much if it inches much more up. But that's what I bet. I think they're just going to go in there and bang real quick, and then someone's going to go out, or I think Wells can get a sub pretty easily if he wants it. So I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't like betting unders once they get too much higher than that like 150 spot that you got it at, but it's really hard to see this one not going that way because they're going to come forward, they're going to collide, and it's either the Mathetha lands something on him and gets him out of there, or Wells gets something into the clinch, and if this hits the ground, he's going to absolutely smoke this dude.
Yeah, I mean, Mike looks dangerous too. I watched like his last, I think, 3 fights. So
he does some weird shit when he's kickboxing. Like,
he like throws shit from like weird angles. So if he gets a KO, it wouldn't be too surprising, honestly. So,
I like Wells quite a bit in this one. I think he's going to get it to the ground. He's not going to fuck around too much, and I know West took some TKO. I took some sub at plus 205 just because I think that this guy coming in has no ground game whatsoever, and he's just here as part of that Izzy compensation package. So I'm going to take it. I'm quite confident in Wells. I'll probably have him in a parlay or something as well. But a couple places out there still have like minus 135, minus 140 for inside, which isn't terrible, but not super. Next up, we are in the bantamweight division, and we've got Sergey Morozov. Is this another Kazakhstan guy? Where's he from?
He is.
Kazakhstan. All right. These guys are trying to take over now. He's coming in, and he's facing the little gremlin, the Douglas De Silva, de Andrade, however many does he's got in his name. Sean?
Yeah, he's the collector of all the great Brazilian last names.
Mm-hmm.
Morozov, he is not a shaved cat, that's for sure. I don't know how good he is. For me, it's tough to like. De Andrade did what he should have done against that bum late notice opponent last time out. That's good. He still has some power at his age. It's tough for me to back a 36-year-old that might be pushing 40 in Brazilian years against Morozov. I don't think Morozov is good either. I'll pick on Andrade in Toutmaster, but man, it's a tough bet for me to put some money on an old man at this lower weight classes.
Speaking of Toutmaster, what are we like 4th, 5th, 6th? The three of us. It's pretty impressive. Lance is like 20th. That's why he wasn't allowed on the show this week. He needs to do better, and then he can come back on the show. But your boys are holding it down. Wes, what do you got here?
For now.
Yeah, I don't think much of Morozov either. Just looking at Andrade's level of competition here, man, it's just drastically different. And Morozov is 32 as well. I mean, it's not like he's some young up and comer. The UFC would consider him a prospect these days. I mean, they do have like a 40-something-year-old dude on Tough that's a heavyweight now that was on like Tough 2 or 3 or some shit like that. He's like back. It's wild, dude. Yeah,
Canadian.
It's. Yeah. I think it's kind of hard to pass up a small sprinkle on Josh here at this price, man. Plus like 175 now. I mean, I think it's going to be kind of a close, slow fight myself. Man, at that number, definitely a pick and tout master. I might even look at Andrade by decision. Like it's like plus 400 or something like that. I'll probably end up on Andrade at that dog money, man. But as of right now, just a pick and tout master. I think he kind of wins a slow decision here.
Aaron.
Yeah. Speaking of like sauce, right? Andrade, this dude is the most yoked dude in the UFC, I think, pound for pound.
He's like prime Pepe.
He's
so much magma.
That's like my spring break like goals, but yeah, no, I think Morozov's all right. Like he's well rounded. He wrestles and he looked decent on the feet against Taha last time, but he did get tagged a few times, and obviously Andrade like can like lay the hammer down. Dude's really strong, and I know a lot of times when you go against dudes like Andrade, you're a little hesitant to pull the trigger, so he might be wrestling a little bit more than he usually does. But yeah, I think the odds are about right. Honestly, I was looking at the props for Andrade, like Andrade by TKO and Andrade by sub. Andrade by sub like 1,400, 14-1, and Andrade by TKO is 550. So I don't know. I might try to poke something there and just hope he fucking knocks him out. Because he did get landed on a few times. I was watching that Taha fight with Morozov, and if Andrade lands on you, you're probably gonna go out. So I don't know what these Kazakhstan guys are, where they're training at, or how they're starting to pump out so much talent, but we got to start investigating these guys. But yeah, I'll pick Andrade.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a sweep on Andrade here. Morozov, I don't understand this line because I think the line is based more on the guys that he's fought and lost to than anyone that he's actually beat. Because his last couple losses are Umar, who's the Frankie Edgar Medov, and Evloev, and then you have to go back to like he lost to Josh Reddinghouse, which that dude was like a World Series washout several years ago. But in that time, he's never actually beaten anybody good. So I'm not sure that he deserves a minus 200 plus tag here. I'm definitely taking the shot on Andrade in this spot, and I could see it being a knockout. I could see him getting to Morozov's back somehow and getting a sub. I could see it being a decision. So I really have. Normally, I'm the asshole that always tries to look for a prop. So I see smart. I'm just taking the plus money here because I
we're all picking him.
Keep it simple.
Exactly. So that's like a mini consensus, but we'll get to the real one later. Next up, middleweight division. We've got we already had an Izzy guy. Now we got a Robert Whittaker guy. Jacob Malkoun is taking on AJ Dobson.
Sean? Leave me in contracts for my buddies.
Exactly. I wonder if like Izzy is Mathetha's agent, so he gets like 10%, and then Whittaker is Malkoun's agent, so he gets 10% of that one. Because that's the only way these guys can.
They get a finder's fee. I mean, they're gonna get these bums into the UFC. They gotta give you some money.
Wait until we talk about Arlovski later, because that man is the hero for every fighter in the UFC right now. Just been around forever, getting paid multiple six figures for every fight. Doesn't take any damage anymore. Fights scrubs. Arlovski's got the life, man. That dude has it figured fucking out.
He's a smart man in a shitty weight class. You can't blame him. Yeah, as for this one, like Malkoun obviously got starched by Phil Mini Hogs. I expected him to get smashed by Al Hassan, but I guess that's just how bad Al Hassan is because he was able to just absolutely out wrestle him and just lay on him and just dominate him. I don't think he's going to have much success against Dobson. I think Dobson's probably decent enough takedown defense. He might even be able to put Malkoun on his back. I don't know if that's the best idea. And I think he's much better on the feet. I'm kind of surprised by the line. I haven't bet it yet, but I think Dobson is definitely the right side here.
Wes?
Yeah, I don't have too much to add to that. I do think Dobson's the right side. I don't know if I can bet it though. It's just I don't know how good this dude is. I know Malkoun is terrible. I don't know how he beat Hassan. Like Hassan just probably should be cut. He might be cut at this point. I have no fucking idea. Yeah, I like Dobson here. I don't have a real strong feeling about this one. So probably a pass. Dobson will be a pick though.
Yeah, and on one side you got a guy that's got like 5 fights, who's fought nobody and is here because he trains with Whittaker, and the other guy who's got 6 fights and has fought nobody and is here because everybody wants to fight. Aaron,
everybody.
What's the breakdown here?
Yeah, I get the same. I'm not betting Dobson. I think Dobson wins. I know the Contender Series fighters don't fare too well, but Malkoun is like below a Contender Series fighter in my opinion. So he did well against who was it? Razak, but Razak was kind of on the downhill a little bit too. So he had a little bad karma coming his way. So he was probably due for some of that. And yeah, I just think Dobson's way more powerful, and I'm surprised the over under is at 2.5. So I took that under there too. Something like this you figured is like a 1.5 type of deal, but you get that extra round here, so it is a little juicy. It's -150, but I put that on there as well, and I want to take the judges out of the equation here in Texas as much as I can. So I'll take the under there. I think Dobson just lays him out, but who knows if he gasses out Malkoun, maybe he can get some sort of sub. He's supposed to be good at jiu-jitsu, supposedly. So I guess if you're a coach, you should be all right.
Yeah.
Almost the exact same thoughts here. I do have the under 2.5. It was like -138 at Bet365. I think it still is around there. If you've got access to that, I like that quite a bit. But I think it's probably Dobson getting it done. If he doesn't, that dude just throws so much wild shit that eventually he's going to get tired, and Malkoun should be able to take him down because honestly, his wrestling didn't look terrible against Al Hassan. And if Dobson's as gassed as I think he'll be, should be ripe for a sub for Whittaker's BJJ coach. Otherwise, Whittaker's in a whole lot of trouble later on in the card.
Yeah.
Next up, we are in the bantamweight division. We've got we might have to change the order here because we're starting off with Ronnie Lawrence taking on part of the Hawaiian Wave. We got Mana Martinez. So Aaron, you're up first here.
Yeah, I'm taking Mana, obviously. Mana means power in Hawaiian, so I'm hoping he brings the power and gets the KO. I think, I'm going to back him by KO. I don't think he can win a decision against Ronnie Lawrence. Lawrence, obviously, fucking gas tank for days and goes for a lot of takedowns and stuff like that. But he did get tagged a bit in his last fight. He got touched a couple times. So as long as they're standing, and who knows, Texas is they don't really like. I feel like they don't like the grappling as much as they like the striking. So maybe they'll discount him a little bit there. But I got Mana here. Mana has some power. He's a pretty big dude for the weight division, and we'll probably just have to touch him a few times and then he can get him out of there. But the odds are a lot better. So hopefully this will start my climb back from all the money I've lost. I would just have to hit probably 10 more of these, and then I'll be back to even. So
there we go.
I think plus
You
two.
need Cabbage Carrera to come back is what you need. So you can start making some
Dude,
money
I
on
need
some Hawaiian heavyweights.
mopping in the Bellator scene. So I got a plan. I'll be back eventually, but Mono by KO is plus 650, so I'll be playing that.
If you're gonna take them,
that's the way to go.
take them.
Yeah, you take them like KO. Dude, you can do it. You can do it. I got all my candles ready, so I'm gonna be. This is a big gambling weekend. I'm gonna start tomorrow and just start boozing and not go to bed till the end of the Super Bowl. So
that sounds like a plan.
I wish I was that young again.
Wes is like, maybe if Baby J wakes me up in the middle of the night crying, I can watch some Olympics.
I'm the idiot. I go to Vegas on Thursday. I do like Thursday. Yeah, I do Thursday and Friday, and then I'm like really bad on Saturday.
Oh, dude.
I get through Saturday, and then Sunday's literally like almost don't come out of the room, man. It's bad. I'm like, I should just come on Friday, and I'm like, nah, I got to go Thursday for some reason.
You got to go Thursday, dude. You got to just like breathe the air in a little bit. Have you been to Circuit yet?
You need the boost of oxygen.
Dude, it's dope. I was there. I think Lance was there the same time I was there, but I was so drunk I couldn't meet up with him. I was at Circuit when he was texting me. I was like, "Oh, dude, I don't know if I'm gonna make it up to the Strip because it's far." Amazing. It's like, it's dope.
Oh, especially compared to everything else downtown, it's just like,
oh, dude, it's like a little oasis.
I need to hit up Kalikas when we go down there. He's doing stuff for Circa, right? So,
I think he's down there. Yeah.
Yep. That'll be fun. Sean, we're on Lawrence Martinez. We need a little buffer in between Aaron's breakdown and reality. So let's go.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of forces going against Ronnie Lawrence with those candles and everything, but I think he might be able to overcome that. A little bit surprising, but I think he's going to get takedowns and probably do some damage on the ground. I'm not betting it just because I'm trying to stay away from lower level fights as much as I can. So I'll pick Lawrence. He probably gets a finish.
This is gonna be the parlay buster, boys.
There we go. Good. I don't want to I'm not betting it, so that's fine with me.
Wes, what do you got?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a lot of Lawrence doing some wrestling, man, and controlling on the mat. I do think Mana's tough though, and Lawrence by decision is like slight plus money. I was kind of looking at that. I'm kind of like Sean. Still don't want to lay the juice on Lawrence. Minus 300 is just a little steep for me, but I do think it's a good spot. I mean, if Aaron's gonna light a candle, it's got to be on KO for sure. Like I got the KO candle ready. That's his path here. So, but I just personally I don't see it. I think Lawrence's wrestling, his takedowns are really really good, man. I think Mana's gonna try to throw some bombs and end up just walking into bad positions and getting taken down personally. So, like Lawrence here, I haven't betting. Was looking at him by decision at like plus 115. I'm still thinking about it, but he's the pick.
Yeah, there's a little bit of danger here from Manas early on, especially because the kid's got power and he's got some pretty clean hands. But once they get into the grappling exchanges, it's going to be all Lawrence. I actually think because of his style, he's a pretty good prospect. He's not like the best athlete or anything like that, but he's got really good cardio. He seems to be pretty durable, and he knows what he's good at and does the things that he's good at, which a lot of young guys don't do. So I've actually got a little bit on Lawrence minus 3.5. It was minus 135 at the time, but I think he's either going to take him down and win all 3 rounds, or take him down and at some point maybe find a sub or a ground and pound TKO. So I like Lawrence quite a bit in here. Don't have him in any parlays. So if Mana busts it up, it's only the one play. But I do think Lawrence gets it done here.
Brad, where are you getting your fight order from?
I'm on Tapology. I'm always on Tapology.
You should refresh.
Yeah, that's not the bout order.
You should refresh.
Man.
On the line on Best Fight Odds or Tapology or.
Isn't it funny they put that fight on the early prelims, the Hernandez fight?
Yeah.
Well, the Lawrence one we just talked about is going to be the headliner of the fight
is it really?
card for everybody. Yeah.
Wow. So we broke down the first three in the right order, I believe. Yep. And now we got to go back to the Izzy training partner well, and this is where I unleash the parlay of the week. But we'll get to that in a second. Light heavyweight division, Carlos Ulberg. I think he should just change his name to Carlsberg. And he's taken on Fabio Cherant, who is not done great so far in his UFC career, but we'll see now that he's fighting some kickboxing scrub that doesn't know how to grapple. Sean, I'm gonna go get another drink while we do this one.
Whose wife did Cherant bang? Because, man, he's not had a very nice run here. They give him Menafield, and then they give him Thick Willie. Like, they're just trying to get him hog stamped in the octagon there, and it happened. So I'm not sure what he did, but, man, they're giving him no favors. Man, this is... If I was betting and parlaying Ulberg, I'd be a little bit scared. Like, yes, Cherant is bad, and his chin is sketchy, and you are a kickboxer, and you did whoop the shit out of Kenny Nunchucks last time until you gassed out, because obviously Nunchucks can take just all of the damage. So you should tag this guy and tag this guy early. But if you don't, this guy might be able to take you down and sub you, because we have no idea what his ground game is like. So I'm staying away. I think Ulberg gets a KO, but it is a bit scary to look at parlaying that dude when you don't know what that ground game looks like. Wes, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about some parlay busting here. Like, come on, we got another city kickboxing fucking training partner. And look, I don't think Cherant's like great, but man, he was in there with two fucking just studs. Like, if he doesn't get like knocked out quick, like, oh boy, come on, man, this is it's gonna get fun. I like Cherant here at these prices, man. Like him by sub, there's some plus 750s out there and shit. There's like a plus 950 at FanDuel on him by sub. Like, I'm going to take a little bit of that, man. Him inside the distance is like plus 350. If he doesn't get KO'd early here, man, we've seen this before. Like, I don't think this guy's Menafield. You know, I don't think he's Thick Willie throwing bombs like that. If he gets him out there, he gets him out there. That's just some crazy prices to me on a guy that I think, if this does get down, it's a wrap. Like he's gonna get this guy in something. So plus 750 on the sub. I'll take a little of that and a little of Cherant inside the distance, like plus 300, plus 350.
Yeah. I mean,
Aaron, what you got?
Ulberg is like my least favorite type of dude. He's like tall and good looking, so fuck him. I think that dude. Am I right? I think Cherant, like, I think the odds are like crazy. Ulberg is like a part-time fighter from what I've heard. He's like been on The Bachelor in Australia, and you know those tall, good-looking dudes, they don't know how to deal with adversity. So once he lands that first fucking strike and he doesn't go down, then I think Cherant might be able to take over. I might look for a live spot here instead of taking Cherant pre-fight, because Cherant does kind of suck. So I wish he was a little better, and I'd be a lot more confident backing him. But I think the odds are crazy. Ulberg is definitely a good kickboxer, but Cherant, if he can mix it up, add some wrestling in there, lay on him, get him tired like he did last fight, I think the game plan's there for him to get the dub. So, yeah, I'm picking Cherant here. I think it's a good bet.
The parlay of the week is the fat parlay, if you will. the Fade Izzy's pal, or sorry, Fade Adesanya's pals parlay. It pays 25-1, and it's Jeremiah the Bullfrog Wells by submission and Fabio Cherant by submission.
Bang.
Because
I knew Brad was on that submission. I knew he liked that submission.
Cherant trains under Joey fucking Lozon, so you know that he's a little Boston strong. And Ulberg trains under Israel Adesanya, so you know that he's soft as a pair of titties.
One
nice one. And Ulberg has terrible cardio. I think we literally saw the best possible round or round and a half of Ulberg in his fight against Kenny Nunchucks, and he couldn't get him out of there. And then he died, and then he got knocked out. So I think the only difference here is that Cherant is going to submit him instead of knocking him out. But probably a couple minutes in, maybe into the second round, Ulberg's going to be real tired, and then he's going to hit the ground, and he's going to be like, "What's this? We keep fighting when the fight goes down here? Like what happens?" So it's not going to go well. And Cherant sub was like plus 750 when I threw it in there.
It's still around there, I believe.
Is it really? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's FanDuel's got a crazy line out there if anybody's got like legal books.
Oh,
yes. FanDuel has 950 on Cherant by submission.
That should be up to date. Like
that's a great bet.
Yeah, I think that's the play there, and Cherant is going to be in Tout Master as well. The dude is 3-1 in MMA and hasn't beaten anybody good, and lost to one of the not good guys he's faced. So we'll see what happens.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's pretty privileged. He's like the Jimmy G of MMA. Like, he's getting all this bullshit. Like, fuck this guy, dude.
Yeah.
He's about a drink.
Cherant's another one of those dudes that he's not tall for his weight class. I mean, he's tall in the general scheme of things. He's like 6'1". But he's going to look like a short little thick guy in this fight. So you got to back those dudes.
900 at the Sketchy Russian book.
Oh, there you go. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Next up, we are in the lightweight division. This is actually like a pretty damn good fight. It's certainly interesting and could go in multiple ways. Alex Hernandez taking on Renato Moicano. Sean, what do we got going on here?
Well, yeah, it's a good enough fight that Hernandez was crying on Twitter that he got put on the early prelims card. And then other fighters were trashing him for crying. So, yeah, things are normal in MMA.
I'm so glad I'm not online.
Following shit like that, yeah. I think it depends on which... It's kind of always which Hernandez shows up. Seems when he fights these kind of scrubs, he fucking stamps them out. And then when he fights guys that have some skills, he falters. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. He seems to not throw. He just freezes in there.
Tiny penis. Absolutely tiny.
Must have. So honestly, I think he can probably stuff some takedowns if Moicano throws or if Moicano shoots, and if it's on the feet and he's aggressive, he has the power to put Moicano out. Moicano's chin is sketchy at best. Mm-hmm. So I saw Hernandez TKO at plus 290. I think that's worth a shot with a guy that has Hernandez's power when he does throw, and a guy of Moicano's chin. So I took a shot, 1 unit at that. Moicano is the more skilled fighter. He should be able to beat him up on the feet if Hernandez doesn't throw a lot and doesn't wade in to just get in tight and actually throw some power. I'll probably pick Hernandez because I bet him by KO, but I definitely could see Moicano jabbing his way to a victory.
Wesley.
Yeah, I can see where Sean's going there. I think if Hernandez does win this fight, he's going to catch Moicano, and it's not like we haven't seen that. Yeah, it's not like we haven't seen that play out, often here lately with Moicano as well. Yeah, it's a good price, man. I think it's still around plus 275 or so. Hernandez by KO. I think if you're betting Hernandez, take that extra money on KO because Moicano's definitely the more skilled dude here, like by far, in my opinion. And if Hernandez doesn't get him out there, he's not going to win a decision, in my opinion. I actually think if this gets into later in the second, third round, you could see Moicano getting a finish on a tiring Hernandez. So, man, I kind of lean Hernandez catching one early, the first round and a half. It's kind of looking at the under 2.5 is still, I believe there's some slight juice on some out there on 2.5. So
minus 115.
I kind of feel like one guy's going to get a finish either early or later in the fight. So kind of leaning under as far as a bet. Right now, I'll pick Hernandez because he's the dog, and I think he could catch him. But I could absolutely see it playing out the other way I was talking about with Moicano.
Aaron, are you going to tell these guys why they're wrong, or are you going to leave that for me?
I'm Team Moicano here. If that's telling them that they're wrong, but yeah, I think Hernandez. The funny thing about this fight is isn't this like the early prelims? This is kind of a dope fight. I think Hernandez was bitching about it that they were on the early prelims. Yeah. He's in Texas. I mean, he's the type of fighter who just like excels against like bumps, and then once he takes a little step up, he can't really figure it out. You can tell he runs out of ideas midway through the fight. If he doesn't knock you out in the first round or two, then he's just like, fuck, what do I got to do? And just in all of his losses and every step up that he's taken, he's just kind of looked shitty. So I don't think – I know Moicano is a much more skilled fighter than he is. I thought when Hernandez left for where I think he went to somewhere in Colorado, I thought he was going to get a lot better and level up, but I don't think he really did. He's still just kind of like a really athletic dude fighting. He's more of an athlete than a fighter, I think. So, Moicano, I think, much more skilled. I think the odds are probably about right, though. Looking at, what is it, like minus 170. I don't think I'm going to have a bet on anything here. But I think Moicano wins unless Hernandez has those Texas judges in his back pocket, which he might because that Trinaldo decision was one of, like, the worst ever. So. But I think, like, being on the early prelims, he's not going to have the crowd behind him because there is no crowd in the early prelims. So
that's probably why he was bitching.
I don't think he's going to sway anything. So yeah, I got Moicano here.
I like Moicano as well. I think if you're taking Hernandez, then, like, even going further than the TKO, you take round one. Because if he goes through 5 minutes and he doesn't land that knockout shot, this man is going to be in such shambles that he might not throw another punch for the rest of the fight. And this is big cage. He's against somebody that can actually move and throw kicks and keep range a little bit. Yeah, Moicano's chin is questionable at best. So there is that potential for Hernandez to land something, but he's just so much better. He's got way more diverse striking. If this hits the ground, he's the better grappler, although Hernandez is probably the better wrestler, so I don't think it's going to hit the ground. But I just see Moicano kind of outpointing him to a decision. He's already beaten better guys than Hernandez, and Hernandez has struggled every time he's fought any sort of guy who's around the rankings. So Moicano by decision is probably what I'm looking at here. Now it's the people's main event. This is the one. This is why Aaron's on the show, because there was another podcast out there.
A little thicker.
Do you have a fire hydrant that you can pick up off screen there? Like this guy. Like,
there it is. That's the one.
Man, it is. If you couldn't tell already, if you're not watching on video, we're talking about some thick Willie here. This man is an absolute marvel, the ninth wonder of the world, some have called him. And he's fighting some tall, lanky Russian dude that likes to get held up against the cage and punched. Sean, how could this possibly go wrong?
I can't think of it. Grishin was training for Ed Herman. And then he got the thickness. Like, I'm not too sure if this guy's going to show up on Saturday, make weight. Like, I'm not so certain. That is a terrifying step up from the spark plug to the thickness. Yeah, I mean, I think Thick Willie can grapple this dude, get some top time, land some ground and pound, even on the feet. Thick Willie throws wild shit, and you know who that works against? Tall, lanky fucking guys who have tall guy defense. That's who it works against. I like Thick Willie here. I think he can grind on this guy, tire him out, and then he might even knock him out on the feet. I got a unit on Thick Willie at plus 150.
Oh, Wes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have to say too much more than that. Then this is a big, tall fucking dummy with tall guy defense, and think Willie's gonna do what he wants. Sean's right. He could get takedowns here, get some top time, land some ground and pound. I like the plus money here. I'm taking a little KO too at plus 300. Thick Willie all day for me.
Aaron.
Yep, I'm on all of that. Nothing more to say. You guys put me on the Thick Willie train, so thank you very much, and hopefully this can help pull me out of my Hawaiian debt, but I'm pretty sure it will. So this Russian dude's boring as hell. Like, he's an all right fighter. I think he moved to Extreme Couture, so he's got good coaches and shit. Doesn't matter, dude. He's like a quarter the size of the thickness. So I think we're going Team Thick this week. And yeah, I got a unit on whatever his odds are, and I'll probably have more eventually. So
yeah, this dude in his last 4 fights is 1-2-1, and the one is somehow he took almost 10 full minutes to beat Gadzimurav Antagulov, which that's not even a real name. I just made that shit up right now, and he barely got him out of there. I think the thing that makes me most confident about Thick Willie in this fight is that he has so many muscles, and the other guy doesn't have a lot of muscles, and he's really tall. But Grishin will absolutely allow himself to get held up against the cage and do nothing in a fight. So even if Thick Willie doesn't land that knockout shot to put him away, which he could, Grishin seems pretty durable, so like maybe he doesn't knock him out. I think he can still just outmuscle him in the my internet glitched out for a second. It was worried. They were worried I was saying too much truth on the podcast, so they tried to
cancel you.
I was going to shut you down.
That's right. People forget that when he got taken down a bunch of times by D Unhung, that he was wearing like the loose-fitting Muay Thai Venom trunks, and it was his first fight in the Venom fight gear, and his balance was all off because he was hanging off to one side.
It's a good point.
Since then, he has switched to the compression shorts, and what do you know? He's 2 for 0.
Keeps it in place.
Yep, everything's in balance. This man's not falling all over the place. I don't even think that Da Unhung should get credit for any of those takedowns, because like when you're walking around with what Thick Willie's flopping over there, sometimes you just stumble and fall over. I mean, it's a struggle that we know, and I can't believe that people keep referring to this man as short and the little guy. It's honestly
short-sism going on. What the fuck?
Dude, I have a dream, bro. One of these days.
It's embarrassing. One of these days, every grocery store will have those little staircases, so I can go up and I can pick the shit off the top shelf and not have to ask somebody.
No, dude, we get the tall guys to do that for. We gotta they gotta be useful for something. So hey, Mr. Tall Guy, go over there and pick those Oreos up for me. I'll be over here waiting.
So, Aaron, I have to ask. Actually, before I ask, Thick Willie, consensus, Munich, Short King bet of the week, everything. Thick Willie is getting rid of this Russian fella, and we're all gonna make.
This is like money. The next Rocky, dude. This is like Rocky 4, but Thick Willie. This is American versus Rocky.
It's like Rocky 4, but for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, exactly. We got this.
You know,
baby's arm with a boxing glove on the end.
So when you go into clothing stores, they've got those little like sticks to grab the stuff off the top rack, and you're supposed to ask somebody at the store for help. But I'm assuming that you, like myself, you just go and you pick that shit up and you use it yourself, do whatever you want with it in the store.
I'm a stick guy.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
I walk around. I start calling shots whenever I go in the clothes store.
Do you guys know who Aaron reminds me of? He's like a young Dougie.
Yep.
I feel like
he's got that vibe, don't he?
Teach me how to Dougie.
It's a good thing though. Yeah.
It is a very good thing. Dougie's awesome. Are you a Bromper guy, Aaron?
A what?
A Bromper guy.
What is that?
Like the man romper, the bro romper.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely.
That's
two peas in a pod.
The romp him. I think you call him the romp him, right? Yeah. I've browsed a few catalogs before.
Dougie wore a penguin to a damn UFC card.
I would rock one of those 100%.
It's too bad he had to move to Georgia and get radicalized.
Sad day. A very sad day.
But Dougie's still the man, if he's listening. Jerry also is listening, and he's the man. So
I guess Dougie's in Texas now?
There we go.
No.
See, we're talking about real people. Fake names, real people. Next up, the card. And no, it doesn't quite get good yet. But flyweight division, this fight has been booked 74 times in the past year. Alex Perez, Matt Schnell, they're probably not going to fight because something's going to happen in the next day or two. But Sean, you can break it down.
Fourth time this one's booked, so it's not happening. This is the cursed fight. It's not the cursed fight like Ferguson versus Khabib. It's just a cursed fight that we're not sure why it keeps getting rebooked, and we're not sure why is it happening. Perez is good. The win against Juicy is nice. Now obviously it's the leg kicks, and those are, depending on who you've bet or who you're cheering for, those can be very good or very annoying.
Fuck them.
And Brad obviously hates them most of the time. He's had some Munich bets that may have helped won by those calf kicks, but
I hate them, but I'm not a dumb man. All right.
No.
We'll put it at that.
Perez has been out for like 15 months. It's a long time to be sidelined. He seems to be injured kind of all the time. What are the chances he's coming in relatively healthy into this fight? When you look back at his wins, they're not that impressive. Now, like obviously the Formiga one is nice, but other than that, they don't look that great. And I don't think Matt Schnell is that good. I think he should wrestle more. He chooses not to, I think, just because he gets tired from not completing them against guys that are superior grapplers. But I think he can make this kind of a closer fight than what the line says. It's not a big bet. I put a half a unit on Schnell at plus 315. I'm kind of banking on Perez having a little bit too much hype because he got that title shot and got absolutely waxed in it. I know that was a pretty poor performance, and he's probably a lot better than that, but you never know. This is in Texas. Weird shit happens. This could be a closer fight than what the odds say.
Yeah, I'm not sure he is, because the other time that he fought a top flyweight where he didn't use calf kicks, so where he didn't cheat, he got
Benavidez?
smoked by Benavidez. So,
Yeah.
Wes, what are you thinking here?
I think I'm going to do something that I said I'd probably never do again on a Matt Schnell fight, and I'm probably going to take a little bit of the under.
There we go.
I think that Sean's right with the layoff for Perez and all the injuries. I still think he's the slightly better guy here, but there's a lot of unknowns coming in. Man, I think Schnell's got to be that guy, man. If he wants to get a win here, he needs to go out and kind of go crazy like he used to. I kind of see Perez getting him involved in something like that. Like, Perez is going to throw some smoke, man. He's gonna put Schnell in those positions, and I think Schnell's going to have to do that. Now, can he pull off some kind of choke? Can he get that position, the takedown? I don't know. I still think Perez is the slightly better guy here, but I think Schnell's going to put himself in spots to try to win the fight, and could put himself in bad spots to where he could lose. And I think we're finally going to get a crazy Matt Schnell fight, and we're going to see an under here, hopefully. And I'm going to look like a dunce again when it goes 15 minutes and Schnell loses a really close decision.
Aaron, what's the better value? Schnell at plus 300 or fight actually happens at plus 300?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the fight actually happens. We'll see. I mean, this dude's been how long has it been since Perez has fought? It's been a while.
That's
15 months.
That's the only thing I'm
months.
about. I like that under call a lot. I'm gonna be trying to hit as many unders as I can here, so I don't have to fuck with the judges. But I think Perez is really good, actually. He flailed a bit when he had to take some steps up, but that was against like the top of the division, and I think this time off might do well for him. The people who have been coming off of a long layoffs haven't been performing as well as I have expected them to perform. I think I don't know what the deal is with that. I think I've heard ring rust was a fictional tale, but apparently not. So we'll see. I think Perez, though, has been ready for this fight, and these guys have been training for each other for so long that I think it'll be a good scrap. But I think Perez is just a much better fighter than Schnell. Schnell is kind of a dusty chin, so I think I'm going to join West there on the under, and yeah, hopefully it's a fun, fast-paced scrap. I'm sure it will be, because both these guys like to bring it, and both these guys are action guys. So I think the under is a good look.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you guys. I think if Schnell wins this fight, it's probably because it's a boring fight.
Yeah.
And he's doing his new thing where he's dancing around, keeping space, and just poking at the guy. But if Perez has anything to say about it, he's going to make this into an actual scrap. He's going to get in there and close the distance and throw the calf kicks that I hate, but that will stop Schnell from moving and turn this into a fight. So I think you guys are onto something with the under there. I assume you're looking at the under 2.5, because 1.5 might be a little tricky in that spot. But yeah,
a lot of these fights end in round 1 too. I didn't realize how many fights for Perez at round 1. Like, it looks like he's been to the bell for a few times in the past 5 years.
If he can force a shot out of Schnell too, he's got a really good Darce and that front headlock series. So I can see that happening, because Schnell will definitely get himself subbed from time to time. So in addition to being knocked out at pretty much any point. So I like the under there. I think Perez probably gets it done, but that line's a little too long for me to back Perez straight up. So I might be looking at the under with you guys as well. Next, we are in the women's flyweight division, and I guess we can kind of give this the time of day, because Roxanne Modafferi's been around forever, and it's a retirement fight. But I don't know. People seem to care about this. I really don't. Sean, is she just going to get out athleted like she has for her entire 20-year career?
MMA is a cold hard bitch, and she is gonna get absolutely smashed, and she is gonna get finished. She's been accumulating a shit ton of damage, and then in the last couple of weeks, all these nice things are coming out. It's a retirement fight. They're writing articles about her because she's been around forever and all these nice things. And then Casey O'Neill, the fraud King Casey, is going to absolutely smash her and put her away. That's MMA. There's not really many happy stories ending in MMA. I got O'Neill inside the distance plus 200 for a unit.
Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be Andre Arlovski and just stay around forever and beat up bums. It's Sean's absolutely right here. Like, she's gonna get absolutely smashed here, bro. It happens in MMA, man. Like, she's 39. All these fights might be the slowest fighter alive today. Like, this is gonna be bad. This is a tough fight for your last one, man. I like that bet as well. Plus 200. O'Neill inside the distance. She's gonna put a beating on Roxy.
Aaron.
Yeah. Don't disagree. Tough to disagree with that. 39-year-old chick. I think they should have let her do like steroids for her last fight, or like pump her up, like get her like a little bit of an advantage, because she is a legend. Like I'm a Roxy fan. It's kind of cool to see that a chick like her was able to make it to the UFC and kind of like prolong, even though a couple of her wins were kind of sketch. I know who'd she beat? Macy Barber off of like an ACL
torn knee. Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever, take the wins how you can. I mean, she's just the classic kind of chick who gets into MMA and like takes a few jiu-jitsu classes, and she's like that stereotypical kind of girl, and I think she's a legend. So I mean, I'll be cheering for her. Casey O'Neill is like she's obviously really good grappler. She is gas for days too. Honestly, she's the type of girl that if she's on top, she can pour it on and she'll get the finish because she keeps going. If she's like ground and pound, she can link those together and do really well doing that. So yeah, I mean, I got O'Neill winning, but I'm gonna be cheering for Roxy.
All right, tinfoil hat time.
Here we go.
No, the UFC doesn't care about
not a chance.
They don't care about Roxy going out good. And I don't think this will be the type of fight that will be difficult to score. It'll be whoever gets on top in these grappling exchanges is going to win. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is the fraud king, Casey O'Neill, has looked good against people that literally do not know how to grapple at all. And Modafferi, even though she's like the lowest level athlete that's ever been in the UFC, like she kind of knows how to grapple. She doesn't let fights stay at distance. She forces people to grapple with her. So is O'Neill's grappling really that much better than Roxy's? Is she that much better of an athlete than Roxy?
Like 15 years younger.
For sure.
Athlete and 15 years younger.
Athlete, definitely a better athlete, but you're right.
That's fair.
I think her grappling, they might match up well in grappling, and I don't think O'Neill's like a great striker. So
yeah, I think the line's a little long here. I don't know. Maybe that means I throw Roxy in Toutmaster. I don't know what the plus 3.5 is in this spot, but.
Dude, you can get some spicy. You can get a spicy like
plus 160.
Yeah. Okay. That's not bad. Plus 160.
She's got to win around. She's got to win around and survive.
I don't know. I think she's going to survive. I'm not concerned about her surviving. I know you guys are on the inside.
Man, she's taking some whoopings, man.
She's taking some whoopings from some chicks that have muscles. This chick has a stolen nickname and no muscles. It doesn't count. She's not going to beat her inside the distance. I don't think I'm going to end up betting Roxy here, but I don't think that Casey O'Neill is going to look like a minus 400 favorite in this fight. Finally, the prelim headliner in this one.
Out.
This one is, I mean, if you're trying to draw pay-per-view buys, this is how you do it. Andre Arlovski in 2022 going 15 minutes with Jared Vanderaa. I mean, if that doesn't get the blood pumping, I don't know what does. Sean, how does Arlovski win a decision here?
Probably does, because that's what Andre Arlovski does in 2021 and 2022. He fights shitty heavyweights and survives and wins decisions. Man, Arlovski opened like minus 300 at Bet Online. It's probably a tiny bit bad. Steep, yeah. But and it's obviously been bet down a shit ton, and money still keeps coming in on Vanderaa. Arlovski's down to like minus 145. I just wish his decision prop was moving, because there's been a bunch of money coming in on Vanderaa, but his decision prop is like plus 135, plus 145. It's not really moving. I don't like playing small favorites. Andre Arlovski should win this fight. He likely wins it by decision. I'm going to pass. I'm hoping for a bit of a bigger number. I know Arlovski does not finish people, but Vanderaa loves to be finished. Like, his last 3 losses all by finish. And I mean, I know Arlovski is ancient, doesn't have the firepower, doesn't really put the pace on. He just does enough. Man, Vanderaa might give up. You never know. So I'll just pick Arlovski. Maybe if that decision prop creeps up higher to like plus 160, 70, 80, maybe I'll take a stab. But the picks are Arlovski.
Sean, don't overthink it here. I mean,
I'm probably overthinking it.
Vanderaa went to a 5-round decision with the legendary Andrew Van Zyl in EFC Worldwide. I mean, it took Richard Odom's, the Black Eagle. It took him until the 5th round to finish Vanderaa. And you think that some former UFC heavyweight champion like Arlovski can just get him out of there whenever he wants?
I mean, he survived 5 rounds with Tony Lopez. So I think you might be right, Brad. I think I'm overthinking this.
Wes, what do we got here?
Yeah, there's only one bet to be made here. Like, Arlovski's like one of those old boxers too. He'll carry his opponent. He just carries these bums for 15 minutes. Like, lets them show a little bit so they can maybe get another fight. Cashes this $250,000 check. Well, it's still one of the top paid dudes in the sport, probably. Yeah, I mean, Arlovski just he does enough, like Sean said. He doesn't throw crazy punches anymore because it puts him in bad spots to get that chin tested. So he does maybe a little later in the fight. Like, you'll be sweating Arlovski in the 3rd usually. Like, you just gotta hope he doesn't get caught with anything flush, which it's another bum he's fighting, man. Another dude. I don't think he's gonna have to worry about that. So Arlovski by decision, man. Like, it's a great spot again. It's pretty much the same bet over and over with Arlovski at this point, and it keeps cashing. So I'm gonna go there again.
Aaron.
Yeah, I was looking. I agree with your guys' sentiments. I was looking at but it could be close. I think it's gonna be like a striking battle that, I don't think it'll hit the ground. So, and these Texas judges, if you look at the split decisions, it's like 7-1 Arlovski or 12-1 Vanderaa. I might play a little bit of that. I think the line is probably pretty right on. If I could rely on Arlovski to wrestle, then I would feel better about laying the price that he has, but I don't think he will. I think it just ends up being like a stand-up kickboxing match and not a lot of volume, but it'll be close, and who knows if the judge is looking at their phone or not. So I could see this being one of those fights that everyone on Twitter is like, oh, what the fuck? Like, this is a robbery. This is like one of the robbery matches. Either way it ends up. But yeah, I think I think I might, this is getting closer to the end of the night, so I'll be pretty drunk. So I'll definitely be sprinkling a little on some wild shit, and I'll probably do like the split decision, boys.
There we go.
I don't hate the split decision props at those numbers in this
Dude,
fight.
yeah, why not, dude? There's gonna be some wild shit with these Texas judges. Everyone always forgets about it. It always happens.
Yeah, it will be a storyline on Sunday morning,
right,
in regards to this card in one way or another. So, yeah, I like Arlovski. It's just what he does. I asked Sean how he wins a decision. Honestly, I don't know how he wins a decision, but he's going to figure out a way to win a decision in this fight. Jared Vanderaa is not very good. He hasn't beaten anybody good. He's lost to anybody even remotely good that he's fought. And Andrei Arlovski only loses to dudes that have basically huge knockout power that can put him out in one shot. Because other than that, he is the durable veteran, and he sticks around, and he ends up outboxing these dudes that don't know how to throw a punch at heavyweight. So I've got Arlovski by decision. I don't hate, honestly, with the price coming down, I don't hate Arlovski going in a parlay. It's almost getting to the point where you can probably play it straight as well. And then I've got some Arlovski decision at plus 145, plus 140. So I like the old vet to get it done. Moving up to the main card, we are in the lightweight division, and I mean, if there's going to be some judges fuckery on this card, it is 100% going to be in a Bobby Green fight. So, Bobby Green, Nasrat Haqparast. Aaron, get your split decision props ready for this one, because I mean that seems like what's incoming here. Sean, what's the breakdown?
I'm just asking for trouble with this one. We're in Texas judges, and I'm also putting a decent bet on Bobby Green. This is just asking for an absolute letdown. He looked great last time out. That was the ghost of Ala Quinta, the real estate agent. He still fucking waxed him, and we haven't seen that against Ala Quinta, even if he is a ghost. The Hooker and Haqparast fight was interesting because I mean, obviously Hooker was able to take well, it wasn't that interesting, but Hooker was able to obviously take Haqparast down. I thought on the feet Haqparast would be better than what he was, because obviously if he can't stop the takedowns, on the feet it should be your bread and butter. Now I know Dan Hooker is very good, but I don't know. I just expected more out of Haqparast. I think Bobby Green can use his striking and shut down Haqparast. This likely goes to a decision, and that's when shit gets scary. So I think that might be factored in the line a bit, and that's why it might be a little bit lower than what I think it should be. But I got 2 units on Bobby Green. I think he can win a striking decision, and hopefully it's wide enough that there's no fuckery.
Yeah, a FanDuel out there with like a 50-cent off-market decision prop on Bobby Green is something I would probably look into if I had access to that. But Wes, what are we thinking here?
Yeah, I was on that as well. Like FanDuel seems to have some props that are a little off on this card. If you're looking around, yeah, I kind of feel that way too, man. I think Bobby Green's the better guy here, but fuck, it's fucking Bobby Green, man. I do think it's a fight that's going to go 15 minutes here. I did think that last fight was going to go 15 minutes, and he knocks out fucking Al in, a couple of minutes or something like that. But that guy's selling houses, and I think Nasrat is pretty tough. I don't think Bobby's a little bit better everywhere. It's just, man, what kind of mental state are you going to get Bobby Green in a fight? So I'm going to pick Bobby Green here. If I was to bet it, I'd probably look at decision on either side. I think this goes 15 minutes, so I kind of lean Bobby Green by decision. And yeah, it almost 2-1 if you can get something on that. That's probably the bet that I would make on this fight.
Aaron.
Yeah, I'm on the Bobby Green train. I think I'm going to be betting him as well. I know it's kind of sketch, being he's always in close fights, and I might sprinkle on this split too. It looks like 7-1 for Green, and then 10-1.
10-1
Oh,
for
yeah.
Haqparast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not bad. I mean, I feel like, yeah, you guys are right. Like, we're all going to see it coming. This is going to be a split decision, some bullshit, and people are going to be complaining one way or the other. But I think Green's just a much better fighter. Haqparast has, when he first came into the UFC, I was like, oh, this guy's going to be legit. But he hasn't really gotten much better. So, yeah, I think Bobby Green, he's got a lot of octagon time last year. He's always game, always ready to fight. So I think that probably helps him a lot and helps him improve as a fighter. And I think he seems to be getting better too. So I know he had a little bit of a layup going against a real estate agent last time, but I think this is a reasonable price to back Bobby here. I think he's much better than Haqparast, and Haqparast seems to kind of fail when he steps up. So he's kind of like Hernandez. Maybe they should have fought or something, because yeah, it seems like both of them kind of, whenever they get steps up, they don't perform as well as they usually do. So I got Bobby Green here.
Yeah. I feel like Haqparast has always been kind of overrated. He came in and people thought he had these really great hands, and
because he started so hot.
yeah,
this dude fucks. And
he landed, knocked out a couple guys early on, or not even knocked out. Won a couple decisions early on against guys that are all right, or we thought were all right at the time, like DKC and the jacked Brazilian dude that he knocked out. But honestly, his lines have been carrying over into other fighters. Like, he had that somewhat competitive. It wasn't even competitive, but it was like half a Garcia, a quarter of a Garcia was kind of competitive with him for a round and a half. And then based on that dude was minus 600 against Grutzemacher the next time out and lost a decision. It's just like, none of the guys that Haqparast has beaten have actually turned out to be worth a damn at all. And we've seen Bobby Green in there against very good fighters, and he fights them close. But the problem with looking at this fight and trying to unload on Bobby Green is that we've seen Bobby Green in there with really bad fighters, and he's fought them really close too. So it's probably just going to be a close fight. I feel like I should be confident in Bobby Green. I want to be confident in Bobby Green. I'm probably going to play him at some point, because like getting or staying around even money in this fight doesn't feel right to me. It didn't feel right to me when Haqparast fought Hooker. And I think Bobby Green is going to get a win here. But man, Texas is scaring me, because it's probably going 15 minutes. So who knows what we're going to see.
Yep.
Next up, bantamweight division, we got Kyler Phillips taking on Marcelo Rojo. That means red, in case you didn't know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
fun fact.
Yeah, I'm a linguistics master.
No.
In what language?
No, all of them.
All of them.
Sean, what do we got going on here? No follow-up questions, please.
That's fair. This seems to be like a get-right fight for Phillips. He obviously gassed after smashing Paiva last time and should have lost a draw. It ended up being a majority decision. The guy he's fighting, he should light up. He is much, much more skilled. He was able to take some shit from Jourdain for a little while before he got out of there. I think if Phillips is smart, he'll try to slow down this fight. I don't know if he'll be able to do that, because Rojo seems to come forward and try to engage and try to push a pace. It's a bit concerning, because we have seen Phillips gas a bit if he isn't able to get a guy out of there. But I just think the skill difference is going to be way too much. I think he gets Rojo out of there. Kyler Phillips in the parlay with Green plus 115 for 2 units.
Wesley.
Yeah, I kind of agree with most of that. I do think this is a spot to get Phillips kind of back on track here. We all pretty much rated him very highly going into that Paiva fight, and he showed a lot of skills in that fight. Yeah, I don't know what to think of Rojo here. He just gets smoked in his debut after losing some fights down on combat and shit. So. Yeah, I kind of feel like Phillips should get it done here. Just looking at him inside the distance, I think he'd want to show a really good performance here. Yeah, I do think he's a good parlay piece, but it's creeping up, man. It's up over minus 400 or something like that. So if I do make a bet here, it'll probably be Phillips inside the distance, but I haven't played anything on this fight. Line has just kind of gotten away from me, so Phillips is definitely a pick, though.
Aaron?
Yeah, I wanted to play the under, but it got away from me there. I wasn't able to get a good price on it. I think it was like 140 or something for 2.5. These guys go for it, both of them. Rojo is he's a pretty solid kickboxer, but Phillips, I think his nickname is his nickname the Matrix, and he I might have just made that up, but he fights like him.
No, it is. It is.
It
you
is.
are correct,
Okay.
sir. Yeah.
And he has some pretty clever strikes, and he's a well-rounded fighter. So yeah, but it's getting out of hand. I think Phillips pretty unplayable there at minus 400, and even his ITD is like plus 100. So I probably won't have a bet on this fight, but I think Kyler Phillips probably cleans up pretty easily.
Yeah, I like Kyler Phillips. I think he's a pretty solid fighter. I don't want to bet him as a minus 400 in this spot because Rojo is a shit-eating wild man. He's going to come forward and throw a whole bunch of everything, and who knows what's going to happen there. I think the over probably hits here, but I've been burned on a couple of those like little juice over 1.5s lately, so I'm probably going to stay away from that as well. But I like Kyler Phillips to win this fight. I'm just not interested in betting him in this spot. With that, we're moving up to the real fights on the card. Middleweight division, we have the Cisco, the Thong Song, Derek Brunson, taking on Jared Cannonier, the Crystal Man. This is quite the narrative fight, Sean. What we got going on here?
Yeah, the big question is, are we going to see a return to the meme on Saturday? And I think we do. Brunson's fought off that meme for a good while. Ever since the Adesanya fight, he's been able to do it 5 times. In those fights, he gets takedowns. That's the big thing, because that chin is still an absolute liability. And I don't know if he's going to be able to consistently get Jared Cannonier down. He might get him down once, maybe twice. I think Cannonier is strong enough to shrug some of those and get up. And then when it's on the feet, the power difference, the chin difference, it's going to be very, very apparent. I hate betting small favorites. Historically, I'm absolutely horrible at it and lose so much money on it. I was able to grab a minus 135 on Cannonier. That price was just too good not to take. I got him for 2 units. I just think he's going to be able to sprawl and brawl and catch that chin and then Wes gets to make a meme on Saturday, so it's going to be fun for all.
Wes, exactly when are the edibles going to hit on Saturday night?
Yeah, I'm leaning that way too. I think Brunson is going to another world this weekend. Yeah, I think though Q man can keep this up. He's really strong. His takedown defense is pretty good. Maybe Brunson gets one. I'm not sure he can hold Cannonier down for a full round, but man on the feet, it's not. Even Brunson surviving these past 5 and getting some decisions where we've all made some money. I think he's fought really smart, used his wrestling. none of these dudes got takedown defense like the OQ man. So I'm not sure he gets to fight that type of fight this time. And on the feet, man, we've seen him still take some punches in these past few fights to where it's still like, get the fucking takedown, man, because it's not looking good. And I think we're going to see some spots in this fight like that. And I think Cannonier is gonna catch him with something and get Brunson out of there, and we're going to be reminded why Brunson's probably never going to win a title in this sport, because that
or
chin
get a
is,
title shot.
Yeah, or even get a shot at it, because that chin is still a little sketchy, and especially against guys that he can't take down and just lay on. So, yeah, I like Cannonier here. I don't know. I think the line's starting to creep back down just a slight bit.
It is.
So I'm going to wait it out. If I can't get something decent, maybe down another 15, 20 cents, I'll probably just let Cannonier by KO or something like that. It's like plus money at this point. So yeah, I like him to get it done there.
Aaron.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. Cannonier. I mean, he came down from 205 to 185, so this dude's a big dude.
He came down from 265,
Yeah.
bro.
Did
He was a heavyweight.
Massive, yeah.
Oh my
Cannonier's
God.
massive.
You'll hear it every time because Rogan will talk about it.
All right, well that's my goal for 2022. But yeah, I mean, when you come down from those types of weights, like you're much more used to like strength, that the type of strength that Brunson can put onto you. Like you look at guys like Volkanovski, the reason he's so fucking strong is because he used to be like 200 pounds. So this is a little less pronounced, but Cannonier, I was watching his fight against Hermansson last night, and he got taken down, but he also got like right back up. He did like Derek Lewis, just stand fucking right back up, and he was able to get up. So I think he's going to be able to do this similar thing to Brunson. Even if Brunson does take him down, you know, I think he'll just be able to get back up. He has pretty good takedown defense. He is pretty good, decent defensive jiu-jitsu, and I think eventually he's just going to be able to put away Cannonier. Brunson might be able to lay on him for a little bit, but he's so strong that I don't think he's going to be able to lay on him for long enough where it will make a difference with the judges. So, yeah, I got Cannonier. I think he probably knocks him out. So, I don't have a bet right now, but I'm similar to Wes. For whatever reason, it's coming back down, and I think that's wrong. So, but I'll wait a little bit and see how that line moves.
Yeah, originally looking at this one, I didn't know what to think, so I was kind of hesitant to put a bet on anything. But I think I'm coming around to the Cannonier side. His wrestling defense has looked a lot better at middleweight, and it's not just because he's bigger now in comparison to the people that he's fighting. It seems like he's actually improving, which is nice. And man, even in these fights that Brunson's winning and like sort of winning decisively, he's still getting clipped at almost every fight that he's been in. And now he's fighting a bigger hitter and a guy who's better at defending takedowns and getting back up than anybody that he's fought so far along this run. So I'm not so sure that Cannonier can just stand up easily against Brunson, because I think once Brunson gets into those grappling exchanges and gets some control, he'll be able to hold it. But man, Brunson gets tired real quick. He usually looks like he's dead in the second round. And then somehow in the third or fourth round, he's like, okay, I got my energy back again. And he starts getting the takedowns a little bit easier once his opponent starts to tire. But Cannonier's gone 5, and he's looked good going 5. Wes, I think we were all thinking in the last fight against Gastelum that his only shot was to knock him out. And you said, no, I think he can win a decision here too. And that's what he came out and did. So I've got a lot more faith in Cannonier's cardio than I've got in Brunson's cardio. I've got a lot more faith in his chin than I've got in Brunson's chin. And I think at some point, and it's just every Brunson fight he gets landed on, and Cannonier's not the guy you want to land on you. So I'm going with the Cannonier guy for the brand or whatever.
Oh yeah, and he's a manifester. He's he definitely
he's big into the crystals. I'm
sure
he's got candles going too.
I've done on my bad gambling streaks. I've done.
You've dabbled in some crystals.
Dabbled in the crystals. Yeah.
Whatever gets you back on track, baby.
You're supposed to
on
let
your
the
wrist or whatever.
You're supposed to let the moonlight hit them and shit. I've dabbled, so I might dabble.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah, it's a big weekend, so I might have to go and get some.
That's how you know it works. Co-main event, man. This one, if this one goes the wrong way, I might be an absolute disaster. I'm not even a big Derek Lewis fan. I am just very anti-Shuey. It's disgusting. Why do you hate yourself? I don't get it. Aaron, I feel like you might be a little bit team Shuey here.
I'm a Shuey guy, dude.
I'll let you go first. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
make me understand.
I don't want to pick a winner of this fight, but if I were to bet it, which I probably will end up doing, I'll probably be on the Tuivasa side just because.
Like the Polynesian connection between.
That's probably it. Probably a little bit of that. Probably a little bit of he likes to party. So I have a special place in my heart for that.
Fair.
But I think this ends up becoming a 50-50 fight at one point. They're just going to end up coming in the middle and then just like kind of throwing hands, which is what they did in the Greg Hardy fight. So at whatever it is, like plus, what is he like? Plus 150 now. That's coming down more. It was a little more attractive earlier in the week. I think he was like, plus 160-ish. That to me, I'm like, I think these guys, Ty's the type of dude who's just going to say, fuck it eventually and just go in the middle and then just go. So if two dudes are just swinging at each other, that to me is 50-50. So I'll probably take some Ty there. And then I saw he was handing out. Did you guys see he made his own like drinking shoey, like he handed them out to all the fighters at the press conference and stuff. So if I win, I'll my bet on Ty, I'll surely support the brand and I'll buy one, and then maybe we can give one away. I'll give one to you guys. You guys can give one away on the podcast. So gotta get more people drinking out of shoes. And then, that'll be
if he wins this fight, I will drink one.
Oh shit!
Let's go, dude. It's not
going. It's going.
I used to play rugby, so that's like
the cup,
a rugby thing. So
no, I'm not doing that. No.
If Cal wins, it's to the cup, though, right? Not the,
yeah.
Not the shoe.
Oh yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, how many White Claws do you think can fit in Derek Lewis cup?
Derek Lewis cup.
Are we talking
probably like 3 or 4?
Are they the 355 White Claws or are they the tall boy White Claws?
The 355 boys, probably a couple, right?
Oh, you could fit like 3 or 4 of those.
I wonder what that guy did with the cup. Remember that guy just fucking? That was kind of weird.
That was very weird. Yes. MMA fans are a sick bunch of human beings.
Yeah, it's probably hanging on his wall.
Man,
who's breaking this down?
I got Ty, so I'm taking Ty. I love Derek Lewis. My dumb ass bet against him in his last fight, so I got to keep the train rolling.
Sean?
Yeah, I actually kind of think the same way that you do. Like, in Derek Lewis fights, unless you're way better than him striking, guys are terrified to exchange with him. Yeah. And that's usually bad news for you because then you do panic shit. You get backed up and then you get knocked out. This probably isn't good for Tuivasa's health. I'm not saying he wins it every time, but if he throws down like he usually does, he does have big power too. And Derek Lewis has been knocked out. Tuivasa by TKO is plus 250, plus 260. I haven't played it yet. It's calling my name.
Not high enough.
I don't mind that. I know I've lost a shit ton of money to Derek Lewis. I keep underestimating him.
Me too.
I thought maybe Dawkins had a chance, but I was just on the under in that fight. He was petrified. I don't think Tuivasa is going to be petrified. He might and more likely gets knocked out, but I still think him exchanging gives him his best chance of winning. And if he does it at plus 250, I think that's worth a small stab.
It's a big cage too. It's like that's the one thing I underestimated about the last fight was it was a fucking small cage.
Yeah.
So like Derek would just like trapped you in the corner and beat your ass. So yeah, I know Tui likes to move around a little bit, throw leg kicks. We'll see. I think as an underdog, he's a decent play.
Wesley. Talk some sense into him.
Come on.
The biggest
The
Derek
biggest
Lewis
hater.
hater of all time is going to talk some sense into these fools.
Do I have to be the Derek Lewis apologist again?
Yes.
On this one?
Do it.
Are we serious, man? Like he got rocked in the pocket to Hardy and shit before he landed.
Bro, everyone's gonna get rocked like that.
He's knocked out Struve, Hunsucker, Hardy, and Sakai. And now you're saying the
Elite
man with
elite heavyweights.
some
Bro,
of the biggest power. Say what you will about Derek Lewis, and I've said it all. The man has some of the biggest power we've ever seen. And all he needs is a guy to come at him and start swinging dumb shit at him. Like, he's going to get that. Lewis by KO plus money here, man. Like, I'm going back to back on Derek Lewis here, man. It's like a fucking different world going on. I don't know what my brain's telling me, but
I can't wait for this fight, though. This fight's gonna be dope, dude. It's gonna be one of those.
I think they're swinging and banging. Yeah, they're swinging and banging, and Derek Lewis is the last dude you want to swing and bang with. Like,
in his hometown too.
So I like Derek Lewis by KO. I think it's a spot, man. Like, it's just another heavyweight that's going to give him what he wants, man. And like I said, say what you will about Derek Lewis, he can still hit like a fucking truck, man. I'll take Derek Lewis by KO plus money.
I mean, there's so many things going in Derek Lewis's favor here. His last fight in his hometown, he absolutely shit the bed. So you know he's not going to want to do that again. And people keep talking about this. Oh, man, they're going to start exchanging, and it's 50-50. There is no fucking universe where anyone exchanging with Derek Lewis is 50-50.
No way.
This is like the Scott Steiner math. Like, he's got a 66 and a third chance of beating you, and then a 50% chance of beating the other dude. And then you take the other dude's percentage and you add it onto your percentage, and there's like 141% chance that Derek Lewis is going to knock Tai Tuivasa the fuck out of this fight. I mean, dude, what are we doing?
Dude.
What are we doing? Some dude that is disgusting and drinks alcohol out of a boot and has lost to anybody. His wins might be the worst, like 4 or 5 wins that have happened.
Dude, that Greg Hardy win was pretty. It was lame. It was like whatever Greg Hardy, but it was electric win.
Oh no!
It was an awesome KO.
Greg Hardy.
That was tremendous.
But it's not a good win as far as MMA goes.
100%.
And Lewis has been there against everybody, and sometimes he gets knocked out. It doesn't happen easily. It doesn't happen early in fights. I'm not sure. Has Lewis ever lost in like the first round?
Mitrione flatlined him inside of a minute.
Oh, there you go.
With the phantom forearm shit, wasn't it?
Yep.
It was the phantom forearm shot that knocked him out. Yeah.
Well, Mitrione has that NFL athleticism like Brendan Schaub, so that doesn't count.
Of course.
That's right.
But like, people don't get Black Beast out of there early. And have you seen Tai Tuivasa in the second round of a fight? It's terrifying.
Elite cardio.
It's terrifying. So, like, there's a situation where they exchange, and there's like a 0% chance that Tuivasa knocks him out in the first round. But if this gets any further into the fight, Lewis is the one that can keep fighting late into a fight. Tuivasa can't do that shit. He's never even shown that he can do that against a bad fighter, let alone a decent fighter. And Derek Lewis is like, I mean, he's probably one of the top 10 or 15 heavyweight resumes ever in MMA at this point. The dude just knocks people out and wins fights. So I like Derek Lewis here. The fact that TKO prop is creeping down to almost even money, I mean, that's kind of crazy to me. So I'll be on Lewis in this spot. Main event time. I know it's been a long show. We had 15 fights to break down. Who knows how many we'll see on Saturday night, but the main event is a good one. We got the rematch between Thin Izzy and Robert Whittaker. I don't know. Is Whittaker back enough to beat Izzy, or are we going to see a little bit of a replay of the first fight, Sean?
I thought it was Titty Izzy. Not Thin Lizzy.
No, it's Thin Izzy Adesanya.
Ah, that's
the official. If you look at his birth certificate, that's the name on there. So
quite the name.
I got it with Obama's birth certificate.
That's classified shit, Brad. I've been fading Whittaker ever since that first Adesanya loss, losing money, obviously, all along the way. I just thought all the wars with YOLO were going to accumulate and he was going to kind of fall off a cliff. He proved me wrong. I still don't think he's obviously taken damage since that first fight where he got absolutely smoked. But he has been winning, so you can't fault him for that. But I just don't think the gap that was in that first fight is going to be close enough where this ends up being a close fight. Whittaker's probably going to try to shoot and wrestle. Izzy's takedown defense against the cage is very good. When he's in the middle of the cage, it's a bit of a different story. I still think he's good enough to be able to get up and also stuff it against the cage. And then when it's on his feet, he's just better. That Whittaker chin is, I still think, sketchy. I don't think it's going to be as one-sided as it was in that first fight. It's almost impossible for that to be the case. I still think Izzy is going to light him up on the feet eventually, whether it's the third or fourth. I think he gets a finish. It is juiced pretty good. I'm keeping it small. I got a 1-unit parlay with Adesanya and Phillips for minus 125. All the juice. I found it all.
All
Wes.
Yeah, I like Izzy here as well. I just think Whittaker has to grapple and grind and wrestle to beat Izzy at this point. I just think Izzy's just better on the feet, man. If the fight takes place there, it'll be slow. It'll be at range. We see a lot of these title fights kind of turn into that. I think this one kind of does too. I think Izzy just kind of keeps his range. If Whittaker gets inside, it's probably just against the cage. Izzy's takedown defense at 185 is unbelievable. When he goes up and fights guys like Jan, the size of Jan, like it's a little bit different. So I kind of think this fight plays out a little more slow personally. Izzy by decision is like plus 150 or plus 160, I think, something around there. I could absolutely see this going 5 rounds. And Izzy just doing just enough to take rounds here. Whittaker might get a round in there. Maybe he does get a takedown or something. But, man, Izzy's really hard to finish at this point. I don't see Whittaker finishing. So, at that kind of plus money, I'm probably just going to take a little of him by decision. It's not a bad price for a parlay, I guess, if you think Izzy's going to win there. So, I might parlay him with something, but him by decision at that plus money, something I'm probably going to take a little bit of.
I think the thing that I really struggle with in this fight is that this is a longer line than Izzy and Vettori. And there's no
but that was
way...
just a dumb price, as we all know.
Yeah.
Was it, though?
Yes, it was a horrible price.
Because, Vettori got takedowns in almost every round in that fight.
Yeah, but he did nothing with it, though.
Yeah, because he's a shitty grappler.
Well,
But, like, the path is still there for Whittaker. Also, as I announced on Twitter, I did some tape study on this one, which means I finally watched Izzy Vettori. And, like, I remember the Izzy Whittaker first fight, and people say it was a blowout, and that's because Izzy smoked him at the end of the first round. If Izzy doesn't land that punch at the end of the first round, honestly, that might be a Whittaker round. That was a very close round whenever Whittaker was throwing straight punches, whenever he was jabbing and following it up, he was having a lot of success in that fight. It's when he started throwing looping shit and getting wild in that one that Izzy started to clip him. So if Whittaker could be a little bit more composed, and we know that Izzy's not going to force high pace in any fight that he's in. He's willing to sit back and just let the fight sort of play out over 25 minutes. I think Whittaker can win a fight. And even just standing, he was competitive with Izzy. And then you mix in the wrestling and everything like that. And yeah, I was very impressed by Izzy's grappling when it's by the cage. But when he's in the center of the cage, he is fucking useless. He has no clue what's going on there. He can use the cage to stand up and sweep and do all that sort of stuff. But if he just has to grapple, he's lost. And Whittaker's way better there. So I don't know. I've been trying to sort of talk myself into a Whittaker bet all week, which is never a bet that you really want to make. But I've definitely talked myself out of taking Izzy. I might throw Whittaker in Toutmaster just to see what happens. But I think this is a competitive fight. I don't think this is going to look like the first fight that happened. And man, if Izzy doesn't capitalize on Whittaker's chin as compromised as I think it was going into that first fight, I think this is a much different fight this time around. So I'm leaning a little bit towards Whittaker. I haven't taken this shot yet, but that's what I'm thinking. Aaron, you're back.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
You got the backup device. We got you.
Dude, my
What are
computer
the thoughts
just shut
on the main
down.
event?
I think Spotify's on to us.
Right? Cancel culture.
I think Adesanya wins here. I don't really have too much confidence in Whittaker. I think in his last few fights it looks like he's been wrestling a lot more. So maybe him and Malkoun have been wrestling and trying to get ready for this. Because I think that's the way you beat Adesanya, right? Is you have to get him to the ground. But I don't think if Vettori didn't have too much success, then I don't think Whittaker is going to have that much success either. I think obviously Adesanya has him on the feet, and yeah, I think it's a little wide of a line, but I think Adesanya has him covered almost everywhere. Adesanya has some good takedown defense, so yeah, I think it's a little bit wide, but I think Adesanya has him covered almost everywhere, and I'm excited to see what he comes out to, if he does any dope dances or anything, but we'll see.
Like dislocates his elbow while he's doing an entrance dance.
Yeah, we'll see what he does. Usually he comes out with something hot, so who knows? But yeah, I got Adesanya.
Who did the boys are back in town? That wasn't Thin Lizzy, was it?
Yeah.
Dude, I have no. Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're discography.
Yeah, that's Thin Lizzy. That's Thin Lizzy.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Whittaker is back in town for this one.
Oh.
I'm on an island in this one. But that is going to do it. We went a little long on this one, but we appreciate Aaron joining us. It was a good time. 15 fight card to break down, and we'll be back at it whenever the next UFC card is. I haven't looked ahead. I think it's next week with some lightweights going at it.
Some fizzy pop and RDA.
Ooh, that's not bad. That's kind of interesting. But we'll be back with you on that one. Remember, Thick Willie, Munich, consensus, everything.
And the Hawaiian dude. Everyone go all in on the Hawaiian dude. Join me.
These views are not necessarily subject of the MMA analysis, so don't listen to what the guest host says all the time, just some of the time. But we had a good time having you on, Aaron. Appreciate you. Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Dude, just follow me on Twitter. You'll figure it out from there. Top Kaiki, TOPKAIKI. So that's all I got. Obviously, very honored to be on here. Anytime you guys need me, I'll drop whatever I'm doing, and I'll run to the computer, which just broke, I think. So
We broke it.
But once I get that Leo Mana cash, I'll be able to buy a new one. So
There it is.
Beautiful. And when I finally make it down to San Diego, we'll definitely hit up a Seals game.
dude, yes, that'd be amazing. I'll rock the penny, and we'll go. The beers are cheap, so that's always good for morale.
Nice. Appreciate all of our listeners. As always, we will see everyone next week for Dos Anjos and Fiziev.